start with the image. Oh, well, that's fine. I guess we're going live. Nice. Welcome, everyone, to Desire to Inspire Studios Foundation here at Donuts for Breakfast. Welcome to 2022, right?
Only 22.
My name is Trevor Henley, and I'm the Executive Director, Founder, and Inspirational Activist for Desire to Inspire Studios Foundation. Today with me is Cesar Cruz, our Director of Videography. And one of the things we wanted to talk to you guys about today is a little recap of 2021 and our focus of 2022 and how you could get involved and where you would play. One of the things we love to do is put out what we're doing and then see how people want to play in our sandbox. So today we're going to go that route.
Yeah, I think we're kind of discussing a little bit more on the topics of like where we're heading this year. And I think part of our effort is making sure that we streamline our services so that people understand exactly what Desire to Inspire Studios Foundation is all about. Part of our effort is bringing in interns, but ultimately become apprenticeship programs that are part of like the bigger network of what we do. So if you're a creative, you're someone who's right now trying to figure out how to break into the industry, really trying to understand what it takes to build the production, any aspect of it, whether it be just a startup, you had previous experiences before and you're just looking to join a team of collaborative people, this is a great place to start. I think ultimately we really gear people towards having them develop skills in what they're interested in, so that you're not kind of boxed in and saying like, hey, this is all you do. It's like, no, we want to make sure that you have experience in all the fields, so that if you are interested in actually being part of the bigger picture, then you can take the direction where you want to go.
That's a big part of just playing. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why I know we're excited about hosting the internships is when I first started my career, I didn't really have a mentor. I had a mentor that wanted to teach me only what he wanted me to do for his business, but it was capped at what I could learn and what I could learn from them. And so when I started my business, I wanted to give people the opportunity to learn by doing, to be able to learn to ask for resources, to be able to ask for help. I've been in business for myself since 1998, when I was a junior in high school. And the one thing that's gotten me through it is knowing that I don't know, well, some of the people that know me really well say I don't know anything, right? But is knowing that I don't know what I don't know, and then asking someone for help or for advice. And our internship programs are really geared towards giving people the opportunity to, what I say is, ask stupid questions. And the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask, right?
Yeah, I think part of our effort is making sure people feel prepared to take on bigger projects and like more sort of just all aspects of difficulty, just making sure that they are a little bit more on that key of like, okay, we're going to start you a little bit with the fire just to make sure you can get warmed up. But you're not going to be alone. Right. Again, we're not going to just throw you like literally onto a project without really realizing what needs to be done.
Yeah, all of our situations are low risk, high impact, right? So even if you fail, which failure is just an opportunity to learn and grow, it won't be a detriment to either us or to the client or anyone involved. It's a low risk, high impact opportunity. So I wanted to kind of go over real quick a little bit about, 2021, right? So as many of you may or may not know, hopefully you know by now, we are an operational foundation, and our mission is to empower people to pursue their passion of photography and videography as a career by giving back to their community through nonprofit work. We were officially launched in 2020, and in 2020 we helped 8 nonprofit fundraisers raise over $1 million for their organization while producing over 100 different videos. And one of the fun things was, as I was looking back at our numbers, $0 of photography in 2020. You believe that?
Yeah. It
was like, wait, $0 of photography revenue for our programs in 2020, it was all video. And last year we embarked on a huge growth. We more than tripled our program revenue last year through our efforts with working with nonprofits, with working with our for-profit community. And we, since 2020 launching, have had over 24 interns come through our program. Several of them have completed the 100-hour internship program. And the guy who's running the behind the scenes and staring at his camera trying to take photos and running the show today, Christopher Grimshaw, was our first intern to graduate through our 100-hour program and then become an employee with us. So, Chris, shout hello.
Hey.
There he is. A man of many words. So, we're really excited about our growth that we had last year and where we are headed this year. And as Cesar said, it's a lot of refinement of our programs. But really, we have, I think, 4 major goals, and these are broad strokes. But it's bring in more interns, right? And we have a number. I think our goal right now is to bring in 30 interns this year, right? The other one is tell more stories of people helping people. Another one that's going to be launched this year is raise funds for sending our interns abroad on mission trips. It's one of the ways I got started through Rotary and found my passion in this work. And then the other one is, the last one is helping more nonprofits reach more people through stories of people helping people. And so, Cesar, being the director of videography, I mean, where do you take these?
Yeah, I think part of our effort is strategizing specific ways that we make impacts to a lot of the nonprofit organizations we pretty much have partnered with. And part of us is building that relationship so that they know that they're rigging like the best benefits of having a team like ours be part of their marketing team or connecting with development, so that there's a huge connection to a larger audience. So that's consistent. You are also growing, and you have creative people that are actually just genuinely trying to be there for you, rather than your typical, shopping experience for a photographer or a videographer. Oftentimes in this industry, we find ourselves to be really in like feast or famine of like, here's the gig, here's the next gig, here's the next gig. So ultimately, shifting out of that model and changing our perspective and connecting our community is really the best way we can find ourselves to be successful, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. Right. That's part of our effort right now in making sure that this year is as successful as it needs to be. Yeah.
And going back to bringing the more interns, how does that affect what we're doing for the nonprofits?
Yeah, I think having a little bit of more perspective for a lot of the students that are coming in that are first time grabbing a camera or first time engaging with storytelling, it gives them the power to understand where they're in like pretty much our community, because they're starting to recognize, wow, this is great work that's happening around me, and I didn't know until now that I got involved. Right. And so it kind of opens their eyes to be able to say like, this is why I'm passionate about this work. Yeah. Or different ways they might have been affected by something, and realizing that they can, have a way to speak their mind, to project their ideas, to really bring something to life.
Very much so. I was reviewing a few of the testimonials from our interns over the last couple of years, and the biggest one that was reoccurring is they just had no idea about the impact that nonprofits have in our community, that there is resources out there for people who are looking for them. And that's a big part of our show and why we do Donuts for Breakfast as well. And then just the opportunity to learn a trade and job experience and life experience in a safe environment with people that they trust.
Yeah, definitely.
So how can we tell more stories of people helping people this year, Cesar?
I think part of our effort is connecting with more nonprofits, connecting with more people doing great work, and ultimately realizing that there aren't barriers to getting your message out, but there are different avenues. In the internet age that we live in today, there are a lot of ways to connect with audiences in different ways, but ultimately it's important to strategize how you want to actually start your journey, because I think we can put ourselves in this big mindset over like all the ideas that we can put forth, but if you focus one step at a time and build consistency behind it, then you start to really grow your audience or a way to support the communities you want to support. It's really important to recognize that it's okay. It's time and effort, right? But being consistent is the most important part. It's just like losing weight. It's not going to happen overnight. It's really going to be something that you're going to have to dedicate to yourself to. And in the end of your journey, you're going to realize, wow, this is how much we were able to accomplish.
Yeah. And along the lines of telling stories of more people helping people is, one of the things that we believe in is money doesn't stand in the way of a story of people helping people. So a lot of times organizations come to us and they say, hey, we want this done, but we don't have a much budget, or we can't afford it, or we don't know what we can afford. We throw out a number based on what we think it will cost. And then if they have money, they say yes. And if they don't have money, they say, well, we have this, or we don't have any budget, or how do we make it work? And for me, that's where the fun really begins, because then it's really creating a collaborative win-win situation that benefits us all in a way that we may not have expected going into the conversation. So I'm really looking forward to telling more stories of people helping people this year. Be on the lookout for our good news segment that's going to be coming here in the very near future. And that's going to be completely driven by our interns doing live broadcasting of good news in our community. So we're really excited about that. Another one is next year, I think still in 2021. Welcome to 2022, Trevor. This year, one of the things we're going to do is we're launching part of our foundation and looking for donations to create opportunities to send our interns overseas on mission trips. When I first started my business a year after I got involved in Rotary, and the first mission trip I did was taking 17 high school kids down to Colima, Mexico, and our students were teaching their students how to brush their teeth, and just hanging out and having a good time and playing soccer and learning each other's way of life. And it was mind-blowing for me to look at the opportunity and go, wow, I thought I was a photographer taking pictures of people for their business. I now have the opportunity to impact so many more people's lives by sharing stories of our Rotary group helping our high school kids, helping the students of Mexico in Colima, of the Rotary clubs in Colima, helping the student, and the impact, the ripples were amazing. And that, I believe, is one of the biggest foundations why I'm so excited about what we're doing.
Definitely. I think part of especially you're speaking about this journey, I want to kind of hit, what was it like? What was your sort of feeling in this experience? Mm-hmm. What were some of the feelings you can describe as you were engaging? Because I think a lot of students, as they're thinking about taking their steps, they're thinking like, oh, is it right for me? Yeah. Is it going to be difficult mentally? What was it like? What were the feelings you had during this journey as you embarked in this abroad experience?
Yeah, the first experience, that's a great question. The first feeling I had was, I was a chaperone, and I was like 24 years old, and I'm like, why am I a chaperone? I'm a kid, man. Thinking that I shouldn't be responsible for high school kids, but knowing that I wasn't alone, and we had all these other adults that had experience doing this mission trip. So my first experience or feeling was, really? I'm a kid. Why am I a chaperone, right? But when it really hit me, and I think what you're going towards is, on the back of the bus, the bumpy bus ride between towns, is when it hit me that my photographs that I was documenting were initially for me was of our students helping the students there in Mexico. And then I realized sitting on the back of that bumpy bus was that my photographs were really stories of going back to those ripples. Right, all the people involved in the community, the local community, and the international community getting together to help people in need. And for me, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, my photography can be so much more. I didn't know that going into it. I didn't know that I was going to have that revelation. And I was, honestly kind of nervous about the whole experience, going to a country that I'd never been to, and taking photos and hoping I was going to do a good enough job, Yeah. And then I turned out a first slideshow, right? QuickTime movie, Ken Burns effect. And I played at our Rotary Club, and people were like, these are amazing photos. Like, those are so great. And I was like, oh, you mean I am good at what I do? This is exciting. Let me do more.
And I think taking that journey and recognizing the power you have to impact the community is literally the biggest takeaway. Yeah. I think that's part of our effort in preparing our interns to take on journeys like that, is recognizing that they have those abilities. Even in ourselves, when we originally took those steps in launching businesses, doing the work that we're doing, is recognizing that it's okay to feel discomfort. It's okay to be afraid. But what's really awesome in the way we run business is that we're not afraid to ask questions.
Right.
And I think if you ask, you shall receive. That's part of our effort to like recognizing that it's important to be there for one another. That's really what we want to bring forth to all our students that are working with us. And again, taking on this journey and then ultimately realizing if this is the right step and direction you want to go into, but also seeing where you are in the community, where places you can support, and in the missions that you want to be a part of. So yeah, definitely let us know.
Yeah. When we first kind of developed the 100-hour internship program that we work on, the idea was that people would go through it, and then at the end of it, they would choose 3 things. And there's way more than that, but this was the initial goal of it. One is they would get an experience in all parts of the organization and how to run a business, a photography or videography business. And they get experience in doing photo and doing video and editing and then admin, marketing, and production management. And at the end of it, they go, oh man, I'm so excited. I really want to do this on my own. And now I have some sort of skill set and also a mindset of what it might take to be able to do this on my own. The other side of it is I really like this aspect of doing this photography or marketing production agency kind of work, right? I'd like to go find a job doing this somewhere with you guys or with another agency or wherever I go in life. And then the third one is, I don't know, y'all are freaking nuts, and I'm going to go be, I don't know, pick another, a lawyer, right? No knock on lawyers, not at all. And it's a different skill set, right? So this year is a big refinement. I know we're offering a lot more hands-on training. We're offering a lot more scheduled to be, it's been like if you're available and you want to do the work, come be part of the work that we're doing. And now we're embarking.
Definitely. I think part of that effort is streamlining a lot of the work that we're doing. So part of our effort is doing specific workshops throughout the month so that there are specific skills being gained and that people can sign up for. And then recognize this is a great production house where you can be a part of a team that you can collaborate with. You can use our green screens. Right. You can see some of the gear we have. And I think ultimately recognizing that there's really no limit to telling the stories that you want to tell so that you can be part of our team.
Yeah. One of the, going back to the story of me getting started and not having a mentor, school wasn't a great fit for me, right? I struggled through school. It was more of a social thing when it became a social thing. But for the first 3 years of high school, it was really tough for me. At one point I had a 0.5 GPA, right? It was tough. And what we found by doing this is what Cesar has talked about. It really gives students that feel that they don't fit in, or students that feel that they can't be heard, or people, it gives them a voice.
Definitely.
To really share what they see in the world through their own eyes, to be able to tell their stories through photography or through video or through live broadcasting. And it's been so heartwarming to be part of this transformation in many of the interns that we've had, because you can see them come out and go, you know what, I got this.
Definitely. And I think part of that effort is like recognizing that you can take your experience from theory to action so that you can recognize what it's like to actually do the work. I think oftentimes because of school, we sort of get caught up in this mindset of assignments, right? That we really have to just journey through so we can get a grade, so that we can do this. But ultimately, what does it actually mean to be able to do all those things? Well, recognizing that you're a critical thinker, you're a great planner, and you can execute things. That's essentially the skills you're working on. And I think part of our effort is recognizing that you can put all that together into action when you take on a project with us that you may have said, hey, I have no idea how we're going to make this possible, but I'm not afraid to take that step forward and like work with you to make it happen. I think one of our biggest journeys last year was jumping on a really great project with sailboats. I myself was not super set and avid of what sailing boats was like.
Let's be frank, you didn't want to get on the boat.
Yeah, I think ultimately, right, at the beginning, I was just really afraid of like, how do you actually function through that and take on just being on a boat out in the ocean, but secondly, handling production, right? So part of our effort was actually just going and shadowing what it was like to be on it before, recognizing what was needed, bringing our camera gear to see what it's like to be used in certain situations like that, recognizing the sort of just issues and different challenges you want to work through. Ultimately doing a ton of research online, and I know there's a lot of channels of different ways for you to learn some of the work that you're interested in doing. So specifically for this, it was like learning how to stabilize cameras in water. That's a pretty big journey to take on. But because we were given the time to prepare ourselves and really ultimately work out the details of what we needed to be done, we were extremely successful in managing a solid piece of production. The craziest thing we probably did was try to land a drone on a boat. That was pretty ridiculous, but it was still possible. Again, it's more of a journey. Pretty crazy journey, but totally worth having. And again, it makes you less afraid of what's going to happen next. Making you understand that it's possible to actually keep expanding your skills. And I think that's part of our effort this year of like taking what we already are doing, but ultimately taking it to the next level. That's some of the works that we hope to have happen this year.
Cesar, how did it feel? Like we alluded to it a little bit before, right? You were like literally not looking forward to getting on the boat, right? This was not a project that you wanted to do. How did it feel after the trip that you went on when you ended up doing the filming? Like you went on a test run, and then you went on the actual filming crew, and then we went on a journey after as a team on that same sailboat. Tell me about the feeling and transformation.
Definitely. There's a sense of just relief of knowing that you did something unique that no one else had the eye to do at the time, that only in that very specific moment in time can that message be done in the way that you did it. And I think that's a pretty gratifying feeling because it's just your unique perspective that you bring forth. But recognizing that it was okay to step up when you needed to step up and take a little bit of time when you needed to. And also recognizing that no matter what, it was going to pass. It was going to be okay. And that there really isn't something to worry about that was, super crazy and difficult at the time. It's not like we're going to a storm or anything like that, but maybe in my mind I went through a storm. And I think that's kind of one of the things we recognized, that it was okay to recognize the discomfort, but ultimately lead by it. Recognize that it's okay to ask questions, to be like, okay, let's be patient. Oh, hey, let me just take a little bit of moment here. But recognizing that our journey was to bring a specific message forth. And I think that a lot of the people appreciated it, because even a lot of people too that went on that journey on the boat with us, they had not been sailing before. And so at the beginning, you can feel the tension. You can feel people feeling like, oh, how are we going to make this happen? But once you're journeying through, you almost let go and you recognize that it's okay. You follow wherever the pathway goes. That's part of our effort of recognizing this is possible. It's okay.
And how about when you were behind the wheel, taking the helm? Right?
Yeah.
How did that?
It's funny because you think it's more difficult than it is, but it's actually relatively okay. It's more of recognizing where the tides might take next, and I think that's part of the it's almost like literally you're navigating through uncharted territory in your mind a little bit. But it's okay. It doesn't have to be you can always correct things. There's a certain moment where you definitely don't want to have to overcorrect something, but recognizing that it's okay. And you have other people to support you too, which was super helpful.
Well, in that note, we'll do a big shout out to SailMS and Zach and their Take the Helm program, which allowed us to experience some firsts and also overcome some of our fears. And we went out as a team too, and it was a great team building exercise. So thank you again, SailMS and Zach, for that opportunity. The last kind of part today is, telling more stories of people helping people. I'm not going to go too much into it, but we are going to launch this good news segment, which is really just highlighting the good news that's happening in our community. I truly believe that if we can put out more good news in the world than bad news, people will follow the good news. And if nothing else, people will get inspired in ways to give back that they may not have thought of before, and really just be more aware of resources out there. So when you do come across someone that is in need, you're like, hey, wait, I know an organization that can help. So we're really excited to be launching that, the good news segment. And so stay tuned for that. But just like Cesar kind of talked about, Sail MS was a great experience for us, and it was something that we didn't think we were going to do, and we didn't know how we were going to do it, but we did it, and we loved doing it, and it was a great collaboration. So if you're interested in having someone's story told or sharing a nonprofit with us that is doing great work in the community that you would like highlighted, that you would like their message heard louder and by more people in the community, that would be a great referral for us. The other side of that is we're going to be doing community events here at our studio outdoors, and we're going to be doing little cookouts and hanging out and building community that way. So come join us for that. We're always looking for donors and supporters and grant opportunities. So if you know an opportunity for there, that would be great for us. And, really the biggest thing for us is, people that are interested in pursuing photography or just getting an experience in photography or videography and just want a safe place to do it. The sky's the limit with what we do here and what we provide, and we're learning every day, and every intern and every person that comes through our network, we learn more from them often than I think they learn from us. Definitely. But it's I'm really excited about 2022. Come play with us. Let us know if you have any ideas. We're continuing our Donuts for Breakfast show this year, so if you have any topics or ideas that you'd like to talk about or be a guest or just have converse, that would be great. We're continuing our We Are the Remedy program, where we highlight someone from the community that is giving back and helping people. So come play. Yeah,
I think part of our effort is making sure we prepare literally any creative, any person that's interested in doing this work to be the best version of themselves. I think oftentimes as creatives, we kind of put ourselves in this sort of like box where we feel like, oh, we have this sort of like way of fitting in or not fitting in, but it's okay. Like, we're here to help you scale your business, to help you understand what you're doing, to see like there's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same goal without having to break the bank, and making it possible. And I think that's the biggest part, because technology and things keep changing, but as well ourselves, like human beings, we are still going through a lot. And we want to make sure we're here to support you. So let us know how we can support you in this journey.
Yeah, I was going to, on that note, we're also embarking on as a marketing production agency. Not a marketing agency, but a marketing production agency. And where we kind of define that is that, we can create amazing content that is educational, marketable, or PR, or fundraising for nonprofits. But we're also working with a lot of small solopreneurs, small businesses, and helping them create social media plans and content that they can post or we can post for them on a regular basis that has goals in mind and KPIs to measure and all of that. So we're really excited about embarking more and more on that this year as well, because for us, the more we can tell these stories, the more we are happy with what we're doing. That's for sure. So Cesar, I want to say again, a big shout out to you and thank you very much for being our director of videography. 2021 was a whirlwind of projects, of learning, of expansion, of growing our team. And you've been able to just be, we call it Cesar chill, just be you and roll with all of it. And it's been so much fun watching your learning grow this year, and the production level that we've been putting out is just, unbelievable. And we just got internet at our house, and thanks to Starlink. And so I'm actually watching things in 4K on our TV, and it's like, whoa, this is amazing. I had no idea. So thank you so much, Cesar. And I'm, really looking forward to seeing what we produce and the interns we work with this year and the content that we're able to create.
Definitely. Sky's the limit.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Grimshaw, for taking some photos and doing our production today. Thank you for being part of Desire to Inspire Studios Foundation and Donuts for Breakfast. Remember to go out there, smile, share a story, share your successes, share your struggles with someone, and you never know what kind of relationship it will build. So thank you again. We look forward to talking to you soon. We'll see you every Thursday for Donuts for Breakfast, and have a wonderful day. Happy 2022.